What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain, here with my guys, man. Kenny Stubblefield, Perry Sharkey. Gentlemen, what's going on? What's going on?
What's good? What's good?
Man, dude, it is freaking cold outside.
Oh, it's insanely cold. When that John said it feels like too, like it feel like I'm about to get back in the bed.
That John said -4 when I woke up.
For real, we were out of office yesterday at my job, and I'm still working from home, whatever. I said, nah, this feels like a PTO day. I put that John in immediately. Immediately, brother. And I enjoyed doing absolutely nothing yesterday, for sure. Also, man, I wanted to say I wore a hat today, man. Not just because my co-hosts are typically, parents are always wear a hat, but you guys both have hats on. Plus, I was going to try to get my rusty buckets on today, my Dr. Buckets today, in honor of Victor Wembanyama. Sad news today, scary news today, coming out from Shams Charania and the rest of the NBA news crew saying that he's out for the season. And this isn't your typical injury. I know that Rusty Whitten, Dr. Buckets himself, is somewhere salivating, waiting to get to a microphone.
He's already been on.
Yeah, he's already on it. Yeah, because that show went live like right after that news.
Right after, yeah. He was salivating coming out. He's like,
he was quick.
Let me flex.
I know he's in his bag right now, man, breaking down injuries. But to my understanding, Ken, I know you were speaking about this a little bit off the air. This is a very scary injury for Victor Wembanyama. Something that could be not just season-ending, but also possibly career-ending and life-ending. These type of situations. I'm calling it an injury, but it's more of a, I don't know. You have to explain more about it. So I'm going to pass the mic to you, Kenny. Give your thoughts on what's going on. Might have to call my boy Buckets to hop on, man.
Yeah, we might need to get Buckets in here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him in. Let me see if I can get him in.
He was live when we started.
They're still live, though, huh?
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think they might be done now, but let me check.
Okay.
But no, basically what he said is that it's not it can be hereditary, right? Like it can be like those kinds of blood clots can be hereditary. The way that the Spurs and ESPN's the way they push it out, it doesn't sound like it is. It doesn't sound like it is. That it seems like it might have been trauma related. There might be some kind of trauma. Folks in the $2 Sports Show comment section was saying it's injuries from carrying CP3 around all year.
No. It's not the G.G. Jackson shoulder bump thing when they both hit the ground, though, huh?
I don't know.
Nah, it can't be like.
I don't know how
basketball injury can't do that to you, bro.
I don't think blood clots get triggered. I'm not sure. I'm not the medical expert on it, but I don't think blood clots get triggered off of getting hit or something. I'm not sure.
Okay,
but that basically it doesn't look like that it's a hereditary thing, but it looks like it is a situation where there's some kind of trauma related thing. He probably had some kind of pain, redness, inflammation in there. They checked it out, found something. But he said, I mean, he was talking about obviously when you're 7'5" and usually you hear about those blood clots in the legs and it takes a long time to travel to the heart. But apparently, and if we can get Dr. Buckets on here in a second, but there's 4 arteries that go straight from that run through this area into the heart. And that it could, if it breaks and it's not cleared out beforehand, if it breaks, it can create all kinds of issues, like permanent issues kind of deal.
Yeah, so that's terrible, man. That is terrible.
Yeah, that's scary.
Awful news. I hope that he can get back soon. One of the guys, just one of the young, up and coming stars of the league, man, like future stars, future faces of the league. I can't believe face of the league. I hate that conversation. Anyway, go ahead, bro.
Didn't this end Chris Bosh's career? Didn't blood clots end?
Essentially, it did.
Yeah,
because he came back, but he just wasn't the same. But essentially, it effectively ended his career.
Yeah.
Someone else just had it, and they came back. Asar Thompson, the Thompson twin, he had it last year or the year before.
For real?
Really?
Yeah. Not in the same position, but different area. He missed 8 months.
Dr. Sharkey over here, man. Dr. Paris, man. Paris, if you notice, every time we have a show, man, Paris' memory of injuries is pretty good, man.
Wild.
No,
Paris' memory is a
All-Star game tidbits. So I don't remember nobody ever get hurt in the All-Star game.
Nah, I'm writing for fan side, so that chat,
that's right.
somebody already posted like, oh, it's similar to this injury. They already kind of. I'm like, I didn't know that happened. Yeah.
I got you.
So you cheated. That's what it's. Okay. No.
Kenny, you also mentioned it off the air how Wemby is a guy who's grown on you because of this gold. What's it called? The gold. What's it?
Oh, Court of Gold.
Yeah, the Court of Gold special on Netflix, a documentary. I've not seen any of it. I do want to see that joint for sure. Let's talk about that. Like, what are your thoughts on that whole documentary, Kenny? I know you've seen it. You've seen the parent. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I finished yesterday.
But what do y'all think of it? It looks
first, Kenny.
Been good.
Yeah, I've only watched. I think I'm on the 3rd episode right now. And what I love about it is that yes, it is it's a U.S. centered storyline, but it shows behind the scenes from all the major players in the U.S. Olympics, in the Olympics, the NBA guys.
Is Dennis Schroeder? Is this whole story put in there in some type of way?
So
that dude had a dope ass story.
Not the whole story. Not the whole story, but like bits and pieces. So Germany, they didn't get too deep. So I did finish all 6 episodes. Shout out to me, and off work yesterday. They helped me get to it. But they didn't get to it. I know Dylan Brooks had a scene where they showed him sitting down with his family and talking about some stuff. It's like they target certain players. I guess I don't know what players agreed to be part of it. It might have been something to do with that. It's like Dylan Brooks was, Shea, SGA was. They went to the whole Serbia, the whole Yugoslavia team back with Vlade Divac. They went back to that whole origin, that story back when the Dream Team played and how they couldn't play because of the Civil War or something along those lines. Then the countries broke apart. So they kind of dove deeper into like
I gotta watch that joint, man.
Did you feel so they did a whole thing about Canada and that was dope, but did you feel that Canada was like little brother in that whole conversation with Serbia and France and all that kind of stuff?
France, they kind of it's Serbia, France, Germany, then Canada. But
even the way the story was told, it was like we're the young upstarts, we're trying to get back, and they obviously have great players, but
because they had been there since 2000, I think, when Steve Nash.
2000.
That was the last time they were in the Olympics before this last Olympics.
Yeah,
that they qualified.
Yeah, so y'all check that joint out, man.
Anthony, the amount of shit talk between France and USA was wild.
Kevin Durant,
I gotta watch that joint, bro.
Kevin Durant and you can see the clips all over the internet now, but he said one of the guys was like, I think Evan Fournier was talking some shit. He was like old ass, like don't Google his name. I'll just be up.
That man went from a man bun to bald head in one season. That man got me scared. Like, hey, how long? Damn.
But no, he said something like, yeah, they have to bring their A team to play us or something like that. And Kevin Durant was like, brother, you have to bring yours to play us. And he's like, and then they said something like, you guys, they have 30 days. Evan Fournier said something like they have 30 days to build chemistry. We've been playing every summer for 5 years. We have chemistry.
Got y'all ass, man.
And Kevin Durant goes, how's team chemistry going to help you guard Steph Curry? I was like,
for real.
Bro. Also, going to Serbia and they kind of was a little talking trash too, because one of the guys, he didn't even play. I think he was like one of the coaches. Even after USA beat them for the 3rd time, the 3rd time they beat them in the semifinal game to come back.
Still talking.
The amazing comeback victory. He was like, yeah, I feel like, they have better individual talent, but we still had a better team. I'm like, bro, USA beat y'all 3 times.
Bro, the fact that them dudes go on vacation to beat all these countries' ass, it just shows you that the gap is not as close as people act like it is. Like,
it's not.
All those things they're talking about are true. That those teams, they play together every summer. They're just super bonded with chemistry, all those type of things. And we just throw a team together every year, like on vacation.
Yeah. It ain't the flex.
Beat the hell out of y'all. Like,
it ain't the flex you think it. It ain't the flex you think it is.
Yeah,
right?
like
it's not.
Yeah. I would give those teams this. They have gotten a whole lot better where it is legit competition, because they're Serbia.
The games are good.
All of us.
I do think there are things we need to do to make our team look better, to kind of mimic what some of the stuff that they're doing. Yeah, because I don't like the feeling that it does feel like we just sending guys out on vacation and they're playing basketball in between to beating these countries. Like, I understand that's what we're doing. I don't know how long that's gonna last though. You know what I mean? The point you guys, if something y'all said that made me think about something I left out of the other day's show, of something else that could fix the All-Star game too, or that can make the All-Star game better. Why don't we mic these guys up and not do it like Harlem Globetrotters where they're just being goofy, but just have them like for real mic'd up, like when they're just talking shit and all kind of stuff, man. Like, why don't they just make it more fun and festive and stop pretending like it's a serious basketball game and just make it more whatever. Like, I think that's another.
I can't believe they ain't done that.
Well,
I'm not saying go out there and be spinning the ball in the finger.
I know what you're saying. I can't believe they haven't done that, though.
Well, you know who has done that? You know who has done that is tennis. Who? Tennis has done that. They do these things where they'll do these like exhibition matches between like former players. And one, you can go online and find it. It's on YouTube, but they did
I think I've seen it
with Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras, who were bitter rivals when they played against each other. They mic'd them up for like a doubles match for this like exhibition thing.
And they were talking plenty shit.
Oh my God. Like it created like the levels of petty that came out of both of them talking about each other. I mean, like Andre Agassi was like talking about how bad of a husband he was to his former wife, was talking about how bad of a tipper Pete Sampras is, like notoriously bad tipper. Like just went in on him. And you could tell Pete was like, I would just love to hear, could you imagine if like
Anthony Edwards, KD,
or even Karl-Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid got at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that.
I would like to hear all that, man. Like, I think the NBA needs to do a better job of kind of WWEing their product a little bit, like digging into the petty stuff, because Kevin Durant made a good point, man. And I am a long-term fan. I love basketball. I love the NBA. Like, I love the NBA, bro. And it's like, Kevin Durant made a good point. It's like, man, y'all do more talk about trades, where guys are going, free agent signings, all this type of stuff, drama, than actually the product on the court. And I just think that if they lean more into the individual stories of these guys, like in the rivalries these guys create, because man, like the fact that like we as Grizzlies fans, we have a list of guys that we know irritate Ja. Like the Ja maybe not particularly like playing against. You know, it's a short list of guys that we know Ja's trying to bust these dudes' ass, or they're trying to bust his ass. Like you got De'Aaron Fox is one for sure. Jalen Brunson is one. Fox Brunson. I think Ja likes to bust
Dennis Schroeder now.
Dennis Schroeder, yeah. I think Ja likes to bust LaMelo's ass.
Yes.
Trying to think. Trae Young, of course. I think he's on that list.
We need to get away to it. Yeah,
Kyrie, And what's the kid's name? DeJounte Murray. I think he's another guy that really likes to go at Ja. I just think across the league there are a lot of individual rivalries and matchups that the league really needs to lean into. You know what I mean? When it comes down to that type of stuff, I think that could help. But
going back to the Court of Gold documentary, bro, Kevin Durant. If you don't leave that documentary not thinking like more highly of him, bro, I almost shed tears at the end of the episode too when he. Like,
bro. I'm gonna have to watch that joint. I gotta watch that joint ASAP for sure. But we do have more to talk about in the show. We're going to take a quick break. We have to talk about this whole Ja Morant situation. We skated out of the last show. I did not want to talk about this at all. I had it on my notes and still didn't talk about it. Not intentionally.
I got no choice now.
To talk about it. Ain't got no choice now. But this is, I'll give you a preview. This is one of the silliest news points in the history of Memphis media, like for sure. We'll talk about that and more when we come back more to Anthony Sain Show. We'll see you guys in a minute.
I still feel like they're a team to be reckoned with. For this Grizzlies team, it is. I think this is a crucial run for them, and a big part is going to be how healthy they are. How much do they get an opportunity to play with a full roster so that you can start to? To me, you got to start to work on some rotations as you're going to get to the playoffs, because you would guess that once you get to the playoffs, guys are going to start playing 34, 30, like your minutes will increase. And so with minutes that increase, that means that it gets a little shorter. But if you never have your full complement of guys, or it's an in and out, then you never get a chance to start to work on that. And so I still feel the same way. I still think that they are a top team in the West that can beat any team behind them at this juncture.
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
FPJ Tucker to the moon. FPJ Tucker to the moon and back.
Sounds like a Sinatra song.
Yeah.
F me to the moon.
There it is. Yes, not a great. If you're going into the buyout market looking for a solution to fix your problems, you're probably not going to go very far. That's why I don't think I would be okay if the Grizzlies, if they just go in with 14.
But if you want to win, and you're a guy like Reggie Jackson who's come close and played for championships and all that, like if you want to go win a championship, come to Memphis, man, because like we're a piece away from a championship type team.
It's not a Reggie Jackson. It's not a Reggie Jackson size.
It's not. I'm saying, like, if you want to be on a championship team, like, come to Memphis.
If we were at a point where we were a Reggie, I'd be so happy.
I mean,
if we were a Reggie Jackson away, then we have arrived. We are here.
Tune into the Daily Grind with your host, Luke Hatmaker, every Monday through Friday at 7:30 a.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
So welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. I was checking out the commercial about from the Daily Grind, talking about buyout candidates, whatever. Right? I don't think we're doing anything with it. Like, I don't think that's happening. I think that they seriously think Marvin Bagley is going to be another rotation big. I think they got there. I think they wanted another rotation big. You know, for give teams a different look. They got that. My biggest fear with Marvin Bagley, he's going to actually be good, and Taylor Jenkins is going to trust him, and we're going to stop seeing Zach Edey. Like, I got to feel that Zach Edey. I got to feel that he's going to cut into Zach Edey's minutes more than Brandon Clark. A lot of people are talking, him versus BC. I think he's going to affect Edey's time more than Brandon's. But yeah, they got their big. They clearly want their young wings to grow and develop. They want those guys to be the guys. I don't think they're going to go get a Kelly Oubre to bother those guys' minutes. You know what I mean? If they don't want Marcus Smart messing with their minutes, I don't think they want anybody else messing with them either. As far as backup point guard is concerned, if you think that Scottie Pippen Jr. And John Morant backcourts are aggravating, wait until you see a Reggie Jackson and John Morant.
You ain't never lied.
I don't want to see that, bro. Like, I'll say this again. I've been saying this for years. I understand that I get why our fan base, no, I actually don't get it, but I understand that our fan base is enamored with the true backup point guard, right? Who's this guy who, your point guard comes out and another point guard comes in, and that guy can't do anything but be a point guard. Like, I understand that you guys love those type of guys, but that is the most unneeded position in the NBA by a mile, bro. That's the reason why not many teams actually have that guy on their roster. Because most teams use a combo guard, a guy that can play alongside their point guard, and it's just seamless. You know what I mean? And when John Morant is a 6'3", smallish point guard, body-wise, playing him with another point guard in the backcourt is extremely aggravating. Like, just seeing that just drives me crazy every time. I would much rather just get by with a Desmond Bane or a Vince Williams or a Luke Kennard, and then you're just putting better players on the court than you can do. I'd much rather see that than Reggie Jackson or whatever, or Scottie Pippen Jr. in the playoffs. But that's just a little quick tip. Go ahead.
Would a potential? What if Kelly Olynyk became available?
I mean, sure, but if you do that, he's gonna affect a lot of people's minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's another big man position.
Right.
It's like what you said about Marvin Bagley.
Because people were talking about, like, Dennis Schroeder, getting Dennis Schroeder and getting, like, what's the kid in Utah, man?
Colin Sexton.
Colin Sexton, right? It's like those dudes play like 20-something, 30-something minutes a game. If you get that guy on your team, yeah, he's a cool backup, and especially a guy who can, if Ja, knock on wood, gets hurt or whatever, or you miss a lot of games with Ja, he's great to have a backup, a spare Colin Sexton sitting around. But you got to play him even if that's not the case. Like, even if Ja's not hurt, you got to play Colin Sexton. I don't want to see no little baby ass Ja Morant, Colin Sexton back. I don't want to see that, bro. I don't want to see that at all. Like, I don't understand why. Like, we don't really think some of the stuff out that we say when it comes down to guys to be on this team. Because if you get a guy like that, he's not gonna be sitting on the bench waving a towel, like, just in case Ja gets hurt. Like, you're gonna be playing Colin Sexton a lot. I think I'm good on it. You know what I mean? But yeah, the Grizzlies come back tonight. Y'all are watching on Friday. What was it? The game tonight?
Thursday night. Oh
yeah. Well, y'all tell me what happened. Who happened? What happened?
They do got a game on Friday too. So
yep.
Yeah. What happened, man? What happened against the Pacers? But yeah, let's talk about this as well. Something. No, hold off on that. We got information while we are recording that John Morant's house was burglarized by some YNs in where does John live? Lakeland, huh? No,
man.
Eads.
Do you know who did it? So have you heard about all these professional athletes all over the country that have had their houses broken into? It's a group of 7 Chilean nationals that are targeting like celebrity sports guys' houses. Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Bobby Portis was broken into. Luka's house was broken into. And in the unsealed indictment, Ja Morant is, I guess, I forgot the name of it, but his number 6. He's the 6th celebrity's house broken into. So these mugs traveled all the way from Florida, all over the country, came to Memphis, went out to Lakeland, found Ja Morant's house or Eads or wherever he's at, and broke into his spot, man. Stole $1 million worth of stuff out of his house.
Ja house ain't no more security than it? Somebody can just break up in there, John, and do all that?
It needs to be. But apparently none of these guys are, right?
I mean, if it's all these, it got to be some type of high-tech cyber security thing.
100%.
So they're doing this
these houses.
just for the thrill of saying they broke into NBA or athletes' homes.
Oh, I'm sure they're making a lot of money off of it too.
I mean, I'm sure there's people they can break into that aren't celebrities they can break into their house too. So
I guess, yeah.
I mean, not athletes that they can break into. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, it's crazy for real, bro. This happened when?
December. It was sometime between 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. the night that the Grizzlies played the Golden State Warriors and beat them in Memphis, like 140 to 90, like 140 to 93 or something like that.
$1 million worth of stuff like what? Like what does y'all have sitting around his house? Up to like are they still like? Is that jewelry?
They said they called it merchandise. That's all they said.
Man, that's crazy, bro.
You don't think Ja has $1 million worth of stuff laying around his house?
Yeah, but like, what is that though? Is that like refrigerator? Like, what is that?
Microwave. You got a badass microwave, apparently. His air fryer's on point.
No, I'm not saying, of course, they got $1 million worth of stuff, but how much of that is like tangible stuff you can just take out of the house? Like, I'd assume there's jewelry then, right?
I'm sure.
I don't know.
I'm sure. Gear, jewelry, clothes, whatever it may be.
But how much clothes have value outside of them being on your back? Like outside of being in the store?
I guess.
A used shirt that I've been wearing got value to it?
I mean, not you wearing it, but Ja Morant wearing it.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like everything I get is, a hoodie or a t-shirt. So I don't know.
Right.
So I don't understand that life.
Yeah, but they got They got Joe Burrow. They got someone from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, they got a ton of folks, man.
So you said Joe Birch. I said not Joe Birch.
They didn't get. They got Jarvis Greer. The complaint said that the thieves stole jewelry, watches, and luxury bags valued at about $1 million.
Okay, cool. That makes sense.
Yep.
Jewelry, watch, yeah. I can see that adding up to $1 million real quick, and you just got a bag full of stuff. Like it ain't a lot of
right.
And like you told him, yeah, I got you. I was like, what did he take the bowling alley lane about that? I got you.
They take one of his 6 cars, just driving off the property. Like, what are we doing?
Right. So yeah, disappointing news, sad news for Ja. Might have added to some of the mental stuff he been dealing with over that month or whatever back then. But yeah, let's talk about the good stuff, man. A report came out. Oh man, I hate to be fussy. I said I wasn't gonna be preachy. I said I wasn't gonna be fussy. I don't want to come off like I'm trying to tell people how to think and tell people what to do, but I'm about to do that. I'm about to tell y'all to tell y'all what to do, man. Bro, we cannot, as a fan base. I want to say that we haven't always been like this, but we've always been like this, bro. Memphis, we do this. We do the whole Memphis versus everybody, and the Memphis is fuck, and we don't bluff, and all that type of stuff. But man, we do a lot of crybaby ass shit as a fan base, bro.
Man, you ain't never lied.
Like I don't know if it's always been that way. I guess it has always been that way. But this latest thing, and just some of the responses from it, like it's just had me like, bro, this is just so bizarre how we're responding to this. Like, and it's like when you see the story comes out from Howard Beck, says that he talked to meaning one more than none, one NBA executive. Oh man, I wish I had this pulled up. Y'all seen it a million times. I ain't gotta pull it up, but I do want to pull up the Kleiman quote, Kenny, for me if you don't mind.
I got you.
Oh shit, I'm tripping, but I don't understand why I didn't have this pulled up. And what was the quote from the GM? If y'all have that as well, hold on, let me see.
He said basically that he's been in conversations that they've had with executives. He's always listening for names that might surprise people,
which is what GMs do.
And he said the name that I've been hearing to watch out for is Ja Morant, and that there's a belief inside executives circles that Ja Morant could be on the move.
Right. And that's because that's based off of stuff that even us as Grizzly fans see with our eyes, that Ja's having a down year. Jaren Jackson Jr. is having a great year. Ja has missed a lot of games. Ja has been extremely weird this season with some of the things he's said and done on and off the court. Right. So, of course, GM's like, hey, what's going on with that Memphis situation? Like, that's kind of what guys do, right? That's their job to do that, to always be, looking to make that next possible move. Every time trade season comes around, your GM should be checking in with teams, starting from swinging for the fences and working his way down. That's just something. That's just how that works. But
the phrase that I think really fired everybody up was somebody out of the blue said, "Keep an eye on Ja Morant. If the Grizzlies flame out early, keep an eye on Ja Morant." It's that somebody out of the blue, and it's like out of the blue. Like, what are you talking?
Like literally one dude. It's just Howard Beck talking to one of his GM connections
to Rob Pelinka.
And just right. Are you thinking that's who it is? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So guys are just talking, and it's just like on draft night, draft afternoon, whatever, when Rob Myers is like, well, the Grizzlies tried to trade for Kevin Durant. And he said no. Like, what are you talking about, bro?
What are you talking about?
And I had that conversation with a fan on Twitter yesterday. He was like, well, I'm glad that Kleiman finally said something after all these players have been shitting on Memphis. I said, who been shitting on Memphis, bro?
Nobody been shitting on Memphis, man.
KD, like, when did you see KD shit on Memphis? Like, when did that happen? Like, we get so caught up in social media and these weird ass stories that come out, and we just accept this stuff as the Bible truth, bro. And it's just a stupid waste of time, bro. Like, anybody who thinks that Jimmy Butler is just sitting in his house like, oh man, the Memphis Grizzlies suck, ain't no way in the world I want to go to that city. That is not why Jimmy Butler was saying he didn't want to go here, bro. Like, it's clear as day that that's not what the situation was. But we just get so caught up in all this weirdo stuff. Darius Garland, who's from Nashville, says that he's from Nashville, played college basketball there. He just made a simple, like an innocent, like what? Who gives a fuck about what Darius Garland thinks? Like, why do we get like who gives a flying fuck, bro?
Because somebody always writing a story.
And then the thing is, when I see people online like arguing with people. No, man, I'm telling you, man, if you look at it, like, bro, okay, if you think that because of some type of financial situation with Memphis compared to Nashville and all these type of things are a reason why that could be true, how does that relate to what Darius Garland said? Now, if Adam Silver put out a story and said, hey, it would be pretty dope if the Grizzlies moved to Nashville, then we can have a conversation about why or why not it doesn't make sense. Why are we having a conversation about why the Grizzlies moving to Nashville could be or should be a real thing based on Darius Garland? It's crazy, bro. And the things that we sit and argue with people about on social media and the things that we give life to and breath to, oh, this really ruined my day. Why? Why does that ruin your day? Why does that ruin your day? Somebody saying some, like, literally the opinions of two people, bro. Darius Garland and some GM who we assume to be Rob Pelinka.
I know.
But the thing is so crazy about it all, bro, is that it literally means nothing. Unless that one GM is Zach Kleiman, which it wasn't. It's no different than when I come in here and say the Grizzlies need to get everything in line just in case Giannis bails out next year. And then the crazy thing about that is Sham says today, y'all better look out because Giannis could be out if the Bucks don't go deep. When Giannis a couple days ago quoted saying, I ain't going nowhere. And it's all just a bunch of nothing, bro. It's a bunch of absolute nothing. And it's like, in this whole Luka trade, hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie. As a lifelong Los Angeles Lakers hater, the fact that they got Luka on this weird ass, crazy ass, my team ain't trying to compete, like ain't trying to pay nobody stuff that the new Dallas Mavericks owners did, and he ended up going to LA. It just creates the delusion that Laker fans have. It just stirs it up even more. Because they're out here, and I'm sitting there watching them now and just how they're talking about their team. Bro, Luka's getting the hell up out of there in the next few years because that team is going to be absolute shit. Them folks going to have a three-headed monster of Luka, Dalton Connect, and
Jackson Hayes.
And Austin Reeves. Like, bro, this is not the 60s. That team is going to be ass. But anyway, It's just crazy, bro. And shout out to Zach Kleiman for the quote that he gave. And that's the most WWE shit I've seen in Memphis history as far as quotes to come out. I'm gonna give y'all I'm gonna go behind the curtain and kind of share with the people who are watching the show how this stuff works. This ain't a slight at DeMichael. This ain't a slight at Drew, but none of those guys. But Drew's conversation with Zach Kleiman was not a random. This is my first time texting Zach Kleiman since the last quote y'all saw from him. That's not how it works. Every quoted, and Paris knows this too, every quoted thing you get from a GM or whoever you're getting it from, that doesn't mean that every time y'all talk, you're getting a direct quote from what y'all talked about. If that quote went out, it's because Zach Kleiman was like, hey, put this out.
Put this out. Yep.
But guys like Drew, guys like DeMichael, they check in with Kleiman all the time. They have conversations all the time. That's part of their job. If they're good at what they do, they have that connection, that rapport with the GM. They talk all the time. But when you see a quote, that means that the GM said, hey, put that out or don't, or whatever. Zach Kleiman saw this as an opportunity to make some good PR. He never talks. He never puts anything on the record. But I guarantee you him and Drew probably talk maybe once a week, probably once every 2 weeks. There's some level of conversation between those two. And that was the most WWE promo that he cut yesterday for the whole thing. I'm not going to knock Drew for asking the question. I think it's dumb to even get into that conversation with him about that, but I'm not going to particularly knock Drew because Drew did his job, and a really good quote came out of it. He was talking plenty of shit in the quote. I'm cool with that. But it's really just over a bunch of nothing, man. But it's just a product of just how we receive information, how we perceive information, and how it's just distributed, man. How literally nothing can turn into this story where the GM of the Grizzlies feels like he has to cut a promo on the rest of the league to calm everybody's nerves about, are we about to trade Ja this summer, based on something that had absolutely nothing to do with the Grizzlies, bro. Like,
let me ask you this. Can I ask you a question about this? Mm-hmm. Do you think that there is a potential that, and I don't want to stir up if anybody from Ja Morant's camp is watching this or anything like that, I don't want to stir anything up, but do you think that there's a potential that Ja Morant might have been feeling some kind of way about maybe his placement on the team with Jaren's elevation this year? And that statement was Zach Kleiman's way of that statement was for an audience of one only.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I think he put that out. You know what I mean? Like, if there's definitely reasons why, if I'm on the outside looking in, I would look at the Grizzlies situation and be like, okay, that shit kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's reasons why I would say that type of stuff. But that the fact that one person looking at something and saying, hey, it looks kind of weird, and I've been talking to my other GM friends, and hey, that shit look kind of weird. The fact that became an actual story is crazy. Like, that's absolutely crazy, bro. Unless you're getting something from Zach Kleiman or from Ja that they either one of those part ways. Why are we talking about something like that? That's so dumb. Like, I don't know, bro. I'm at the point, and I keep saying this. I don't really know if this is where I'm at or not. I do not plan on being on Twitter this time next year, like, at all. Like, it's so stupid, bro. It's so stupid,
on
bro.
them. I'm literally barely on them.
Stupid, bro. Social media is freaking dumb, bro. Like, to the point where I know we got to promote this show, and I got to promote other stuff I got going on too. But as far as like interacting with people, like, I'm literally thinking about just like tweeting from some third party device and never seeing what happens after I put the tweet out, bro. Like, for real, man. Like, it is so dumb, the things that we interact with and argue with people about.
Hootsuite.
Yeah, and it's like I see people posting videos saying like, post a video, Ja saying how much he loves Memphis and he ain't going nowhere. Like, that shit don't mean nothing either, bro. Because like, if they trade them, they trade them. Like, that don't, and that kind of stuff changes too. But it's just like the stuff we get excited about, and it's like any little slight at the city, we ready for this and we ready for that. I'm like, bro, like, do you really fuck with Memphis like you say you do? Because if you did, you wouldn't be fazed by that little dumb shit, bro. Like, you can't really love or really be confident in something like that if any little thing gets you all riled up like that.
It's true.
But man, enjoy these games. The hoop is back.
Thank you.
This dumbass
basketball is back. That's what we needed. We had a couple of
man.
basketball. And that's what we get.
Bro. Parrish, you the man in the locker room. I'm gonna hand this off to you as we get ready to be done with the show. What are your feelings about the temperature of the team going into this post All-Star break? 20-something odd games left. I think like 28, something like that. What do you think the mentality of this team is as we get ready to wrap this thing up for the 2024-25 regular season, like this second half?
I think they're locked in to go out and win the championship. Just based on that was after the OKC game, that bad loss, that last home game. They all seem like, hey, we know what we did wrong. G.G. Jackson went into specifics about what happened with the rebound and was like, this is why I know I need to do better. Ja Morant said the same thing. They all seem locked in, like, hey, we saw what happened. We saw what we need to do. We're gonna go out and do it next time. And so in my just temperature of the team, nobody seemed down out of it. Jaren is a true leader now. Dez is a leader. They're definitely more mature than they were during that last playoff run. So I think they are locked in. Just about
man, for sure.
Right.
For sure. I think that we'll see even though we had a really good first half of the season, I think we're going to be super good in the second half of the season because you're going to get GG more mature, learning the game, taking his bumps. Vince, you got, Marcus Smart was a distraction, whether we want to admit it or not. He was a distraction to the team.
Ja Morant,
not that he was particularly doing anything bad, but yeah, exactly. We'll see Ja hopefully playing, more than 5 games in a row, all that type of stuff. And I think everything's going to be all right, bro. I think everything's going to be all right.
The injury list is looking nice.
Man, that shit immaculate. Super clean.
No injuries.
Marvin Bagley is back.
Bagley back. Hey,
even
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Even Cam Spencer not hurt.
Even Cam Spencer's
ain't
not
no
hurt.
way. He ain't on the list.
He's on a 2-way transfer.
Yeah, that's an injury. He said 2-way
transfer. Well, damn. But anyway.
Everybody on there is on a 2-way transfer. When is the last time that it's
Johnny Davis?
Oh, Johnny Davis is out, right? They just not with team.
Yeah, that's that dude. Kid Ray looking ass dude, man. Hey, I'm sure the whole situation with that delay is something about his buyout. Because I'm sure the Grizzlies are saying, if we buy you out, we're going to buy you out at this number. And he's like, well, just, I don't think it's probably something they're trying to save $500,000 or something. I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, it's something probably with his buyout. Who gives a damn? I don't want to use that last roster spot anyway. Just keep it open. Something might happen in the buyout market. Who knows? So, whatever, bro. But for Kenny Stubblefield, for Paris Sharkey, this is Anthony Sain. We'll see y'all next week, man. And we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.